longevity lifestyle designers. This is Martin-Kilgour here with Secrets of LongevityInHumans.com. You know, we put so much work into exercising, eating properly, living the right way, but there's actually no point to doing all that if one day you're walking home from work or you're just going grocery shopping and you're walking back out to your car and you get mugged, or you happen to get a knife through the ribs, or you get abducted, etc. I personally consider being able to defend yourself in any of these situations, as well as just having basic street sense and street smarts in everyday life, as perhaps maybe the #1 component of living a long life. And don't think that crime rates are falling and that's not going to happen to you, because I have some friends who have been mugged, who have been attacked on the street, and it comes out of nowhere. You have no idea when it's going to happen to you. And just walking through life in this sort of false reality that everything's peachy keen and friendly out there is quite a mistake. There are a plethora of various types of martial arts being taught nowadays, and if you want to pursue specific techniques to aid you in defending yourself on the street, if something were to ever come up where, in the unlikely event that you'd have to defend yourself, and may that never happen to anyone, but it is going to happen to some people out there, so you need to be prepared. But definitely look for a martial art that, one, is being taught by someone who has had experience in real-life altercations, isn't steeped in cultural traditions, isn't too floral, I guess you could say. These arts tend to be a little bit removed from reality. Not to say that tradition is a bad thing and you can't have any traditional components, but in some cases some martial arts get too far away from what's actually happening in the real world. And 3, you want to look for something that's actually good for your health and not too straining, and is actually going to be a form of exercise in and of itself that can promote longevity. So the reason I'm making this video is I got a really interesting email. It's actually a chain letter. This actually had some good information in it about some very basic techniques you can use to prevent these things from happening to yourself. It's basic awareness. So these aren't techniques in terms of an arm bar or a uppercut. These aren't physical movements. These are mental awareness and attitude as you're going through the world. And like I said, you have to be aware that the world is uncertain. I'm not saying go out there being afraid of there's going to be someone around every corner. That's obviously a nervous type of emotion that you don't want to be carrying with you through everyday life. But if you have that awareness that things are uncertain, then you're not going to be caught off guard when and if something were to happen. You have a more chance of being ready for it. So #1, if you're ever mugged and someone's got a knife or a gun to you and they're asking for your wallet, never give it to them. If you take out your wallet and throw it a couple meters away, chances are that person is going to be very interested in what's in the wallet, etc., and they're going to go for that. And at that moment, you can make a break for it and run like you've never ran before and never look back. #2, if you're going to spend your time doing any sort of technique, make it strength training. Don't worry about the techniques of various punches, kicks. In a situation when the adrenaline's running, you're not going to have the response time to be able to land something that well, unless you're training it every day and it's your devout art that you're focused on doing. But these little self-defense training seminars you might take one weekend here, another weekend a month later down the road, won't have imprinted these skills into your neurological network of muscle memory well enough so that they actually come out in a situation when you need them. So instead, by working on strength training and sprinting, you're going to have the strength to get out of a situation, to run away from a situation, and you'll be able to overpower your adversary. Because if someone's such a low life that they're doing these things to you, it's very unlikely that they have enough self-respect to exercise on a regular basis. #3, if you're ever thrown into the trunk of a car, kick out the taillights and stick your arm out the taillight and wave around like crazy. People have been saved this way. The driver of the car isn't going to be able to see your arm waving around, and this has actually saved lives. #4, whenever you've just completed some sort of errand, whether it's shopping, for anything, basic errands, banking, get in the car, lock the doors, and drive away. Don't sit there fiddling with your checkbook, writing down notes, whatever. If you're in a parking lot, whether it's a parking garage, that's obviously the worst case, but really anywhere you're parked, there's chances that someone can break in through your windows, take your car, take control of you, demand money, etc., etc. If a predator is watching you, this is the time that they'll come in and jump on you. So number 5, I would have to say, is when you're getting into your car, double check the back seat and the passenger side and just look to see if there's anyone sitting there waiting for you to get into the car. I'd say number 6 is if you get into your car and for some reason someone comes up to you, puts a gun to your head, or there's someone in your car and when you get in and they have immediately put a gun to your head and say, drive out of the parking lot and immediately crash your car. This can save your life because you can say it's an accident. Obviously don't make it look too intentional, but that's going to attract attention. They're not going to shoot you because of that. They're going to be in shock. It's obviously damage to your car, but it's better off that you get attention to the situation than end up going through with what they're asking you to do. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know if they're going to kill you at the end of it anyways. So do the best thing, and that's to crash your car if someone has a gun to your head. Also, immediately after the crash, within that moment, you have a chance to jump out of the car and make a break for it. And that's the best situation. Obviously, if you're going to crash your car, crash into a parked car when you're sure there's no one there, or some sort of object that's not going to hurt anyone else. Number 7 would be if you're getting into your car and your car happens to be parked next to a big van without the windows that you can see into. There's actually a high number of cases of serial killers attacking women as they're getting into the car. They'll slide open the sliding door on the van, grab them, pull them in. If it's in a parking garage, no one will hear that, and they'll drive off with them. So if there's a van there, go back into the mall or wherever you're at, ask a security guard to escort you back to your car. It might sound silly, it might seem overdramatic, but it's going to save your life in that very unlikely case. Number 8 would be when you're getting into your car in a similar situation like number 7. If there's a car parked beside you and there's what looks to be like a male sitting right there, almost ready to get out. Not necessarily ready to get out, he might be reading a book, he might be doing something. But this would be another instance where you ask a security guard to take you out to your car. Or perhaps do this when there's other people around. This can be another situation where if someone's got they're sitting in the passenger side of the car right next to yours, or even just one car over, they might get out suddenly and come over to you with a gun at your head or a knife. You don't know. So take the safe side and get help. Number 9 would be if it's late at night and you're in some sort of building with a lot of stories and you're high up, take the elevator down, don't take the stairs. Stairwells are a perfect place for people to be attacked, mugged, etc. Number 10, which is perhaps the most important thing of all, is when you're walking around in the world, no matter where it is, you're walking down the street, even if it's a busy street, be aware of what's happening around you. Take the headphones out of your ears. Don't wear an iPod in public. And it just screams, mug me, or rape me, or accost me in some way. So when you're walking around, have your peripheral vision open, and what I mean by that is you have soft focus so that as you're walking around, you see out to here. Like my hands are almost 180 degrees from the side of my head and I can still see my fingers. So you're walking around the world, you're not focused on one thing, you're not looking down at the ground. You're aware, you're open, your field of vision is aware of many things at once, and you're just looking for movement. And this might, again, seem like a paranoid thing to do, but it's actually, you can think of it as an exercise. When we lived in more natural settings, we'd be going through the woods or through whatever natural environment, and naturally we would perceive our environment this way. We're looking for danger, we're looking for whatever it is we're looking for, whether it's berries, various herbs, etc. So this is actually the way our eyes are meant to work. When we're focused on one spot all day, such as a computer screen, it actually tires out certain muscles in the eye, and over time that leads to degeneration of the eyes and the need for eyeglasses, etc. And if you're aware of these things that I've mentioned, these 10 points, you will more than likely never get into a situation where you'll have to use some sort of self-defense technique. So I highly recommend watching this video several times over, maybe come back to it down the road, share the video with friends, and spread the word on these basic tips so that you, your friends and family have these imprinted in your mind as basic habits, as a way of moving through the world, so that you can be safe, happy, and basically aware of your everyday surroundings so that you may live the long, vibrant, and healthy life that you deserve.